love you.
Everybody loves a baby.
I love it when she smiles, but I also love it when she frowns and when she cries even. It's like I'm besotted.
Congratulations!
5 couples share their journey of a lifetime. What it's really like to have a baby of their own for the first time.
I'm just so overwhelmed that she's here and she's safe and she's healthy.
To love like they've never loved.
Imagine feeling all the love you've ever felt in your life and then just having all of that in one shot.
To think the unthinkable.
Just stop crying, otherwise I'm just going to walk out the door.
If I didn't love her as much as I did, I would have walked away.
Shut up. No, Charlie, I'm sick. Oh my God.
Newborn babies test strong relationships.
I was going mad.
A baby in the house means a whole new life.
Jesus Christ.
Breastfeeding.
I enjoyed every moment that you were breastfeeding.
It was just really, really painful. It was awful.
As their relationships are put to the ultimate test, these couples find out what they're made of. We followed 5 couples over 8 months of bringing up a baby for the first time. It's been a challenging journey for them all.
Whoa.
First-time parenthood has brought our couples universal common experience. All moved through the same milestones, starting at the beginning with pregnancy. David and Marilia are practicing Orthodox Jews. After finding each other and having a marriage made in heaven, there was nothing greater life could offer, no ambition more pressing than having a baby of their own.
Okay, now David's gonna tell me the sex of our baby by looking on a sheet of paper. I think it's a girl. Is that right? Yeah. I knew I was right. I knew it. We got pregnant very quickly. Thank God. That's all we could say. Some people don't. Some people don't get pregnant very quickly. Right when I found out I was pregnant, I was like elated. I was running around. I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I told everyone. I mean, I told the cashier. I told everyone. You know, I was just telling everyone. I was so excited.
9 months flew by and Marilia started having contractions.
Hi, my wife's in labour.
Where Marilia comes from, natural birth was the exception, not the norm.
I'm from Brazil, where everyone has a C-section, and that's just the way babies are born. You know, it's just every odd woman will say, "Oh, I want to have my baby natural," and then everyone goes, "Oh, that's so like green of you," or that's such a what a hippie, you know, because everyone has a C-section, and I feel that over here, it's there's a different attitude.
It was after hours and Marilia's baby was on the way. It seemed as if there was no one in.
We should have taken the tour. Hello?
Amy was pregnant with a baby girl. Eva, her daughter-to-be, was about to have everything a baby girl could want. Shopping was her mum's favourite pastime.
Amy particularly wanted to be prepared for Eva, you know, every eventuality, every size up until she's pretty much 1. And so any time that she saw any clothes or baby grows or any accessories, she'd just buy them. She's got more clothes than us, I think. Before she was born, I think she had about 10 pairs of shoes. 16 pairs of footwear. Her wardrobe was jam-packed. Her shelves were all full. Her chest of drawers were all full. And so she just went crazy. I mean, we
got a lot off the baby shower as well.
Yeah, Amy had a baby shower before obviously Eva was born, and everyone was really generous there and bought loads of clothes and gifts and things, so that really helped.
I was a little bit of a psycho with my lists, and I had a list that I had to tick off, and I had to get everything on there. And I think it was like my nesting kicked in, and it was things that she wasn't even going to need when she was first born. And I was like, we've not got a bumbo seat. She was like, well, she's not going to be able to sit up in a bumbo seat for a good few months, so it's not a necessity.
Yeah, there was that.
Claire had always wanted a baby. She'd tried for years with a previous partner and given up. Baby showers and becoming a mum was not a future she had predicted for herself. Until Malcolm came along and changed all that.
When I first saw you, I fancied you. I was like, oh, he's quite dishy for an older man.
So Claire approached me and said, hey, you know, do you fancy going out for a drink at the weekend? I think it was something like that. And I stood there and looked at her, and I think I must have just stood and said nothing for maybe a nanosecond too long.
And it seemed far too long. So I turned my back and walked away. For embarrassment. And I was a bit like, I've never been turned down in my life.
Claire was 28, a happy 20 years Malcolm's junior.
So soppy.
Malcolm introduced Claire to his existing family. He has 3 sons already. He also became best friend to Claire's beloved baby dog, Alfie.
I like having a gentleman, and Malcolm's a gentleman, and he's kind and loving and really affectionate, and that's what I love the most.
The months raced by and Claire was overdue and going into hospital to be induced.
No, I'm pretty calm about the whole thing.
My hospital bag.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to wear one of your best shirts?
Why not?
Fair enough.
Quite look good.
Oh, hello, it's Claire Chambers. I've got an appointment at 9:30. Thank you.
For Claire and Malcolm, labour was imminent. Like all women about to give birth, Claire had no idea how her labour would play out. How fast, how slow, how frightening, or how joyous. Labour for Marilia was not top of her list of favourite things.
You know, when you're having a contraction, you just want to hit your head against the wall and pass out, you know?
More than anything, Marilia wanted an epidural.
Epidural. I want an epidural. I can go talk to him.
He's not here.
Or her. Where is he?
He's in theatre.
Yeah? I'll go in there. I don't even ride out a headache without medicine. You know, like I wouldn't extract a tooth without, I will not like have a baby without an epidural. Like there's just no way. That was like, you know, and I went in and I was like, epidural. I'll tell him.
We'll wait for him to come.
I can go in there. I'll just sit next to him. He can just sit there. I'll just go in the theater too. Oh my God. It's not fair.
For Amy, there were no labour pains. She was about to have a C-section.
Oh, hey, you are really seriously shaking. Oh my cold hands.
I was scared that potentially we could lose Eva. A planned C-section doesn't necessarily go to plan, which it didn't. And because of the start of trying to get a cannula in, because that didn't happen for 45 minutes, an hour, because they struggled to get the cannula in, it made us both quite anxious, especially Amy.
Amy and Stuart were holding their nerve, as they had lost their firstborn during birth 2 years before. Claire's labour had also begun. Malcolm was the ultimate must-have male accessory on hand for delivery.
Apparently this might help. Because you're going to be a mummy soon. All right.
I just people want to go through this more than once.
Yeah, all right that side, isn't it? It's going through labour.
Unless you go through labour, you just do not know what the pain's going to be like, what the situation's going to be like.
I wanted to go.
I also remember thinking that the poor girls that were either waiting to be induced or they were waiting to go in for their C-section, and I thought, oh my God, if I had a girl doing what I'm doing, it'd scare the life out of me. I was in so much pain through my contractions that I just didn't know what to do with myself. I was just, I didn't know what I wanted.
You wanted me to rub your back. You didn't want me to rub your back.
Yeah.
You wanted the gas and air. You didn't want the gas and air.
I wanted to stand up.
You wanted to stand up. Then you wanted to sit down. Yeah.
Claire eventually settled into her first labour, a trial by fire.
He wasn't panicky. He was so calm, and I think it did me wonders actually having you there. Okay, I did, I think, punch you in the leg once.
No, you tried to shin me, but you had bare feet, so it didn't hurt. I know. Keep breathing. And then you lashed out once, which weren't too bad. So, yep.
The moment of birth was swift for everyone. Our couples became mums and dads. Their lives and their relationships changed forever.
Good girl. Hello, Mummy. Have a look what you've got. One of them.
Little girl.
Congratulations.
I heard a cry, and all I can remember is just feeling an overwhelming relief. I just felt like I felt 10 tons lighter.
Well done.
I said within 2 hours. I said it'd be here before 5.
2 minutes to 5 to, so 53, baby.
An hour and 45 minutes later, she arrived.
Yeah.
Well intense.
I'm not doing it again.
Not immediately, no.
No, I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
I just wanted her. I just wanted her with me. From that moment that I held her in my arms, it was like she'd always been there. It was like a missing part of the jigsaw puzzle.
All of a sudden, I just got like a wave. It's like, imagine feeling all the love you've ever felt in your life and then just having all of that in one shot.
It's like a very, very heightened sense of emotion. I cried out of pride for you. She was like amazing.
How did we live so long without her? It's so crazy.
So surreal.
It's the first picture of Darcy Elizabeth.
I think I'm still in shock. I'm just tired and I'm overwhelmed, actually.
It was just a rush of emotions. I mean, she was beautiful. She was small, but she was big. That was a bit of a strange one because she was bigger than what we expected, albeit she's still this tiny baby, but she looked quite chunky. The love that you feel instantaneously for this little baby, and you just want to grab hold of her. She's my daughter. I want her. It's just an overwhelming experience.
All of our couples had given birth. In that moment, whatever the future held, they were in wonder and awe at a miracle of their own.
I remember thinking, she looks nothing like me. I didn't realize, but I had this image of what she was going to look like. And she came out and she looked like David's nephew. And I was like, she looks nothing like me.
Yes, she's just brilliant. I love it. I love the whole thing, being a dad, everything. It's mega.
When I first saw him, it was love at first sight.
The most amazing moment of my life. It's like It's like a drug. It's the highest I've ever been.
I'm just so overwhelmed that she's here and she's safe and she's healthy. It is a fairy tale now, after everything we've been through. It is a fairy tale.
So all you have to do, it's that simple actually, Ames. Just pull that grey...
Get inside.
Bringing baby over the threshold was a moment of wonder for all our couples, and one very excited doggy too.
Excited to see your sister. She's even Louise. As soon as we walked through the front door, we were like, right, what do we do? I think we just looked at her and just tried to comprehend what we had in front of us.
Lovely pair of frilly knickers.
The first couple of days, we did nothing but sit on the sofa and just watch her. My mum had put meals in the freezer to last us a couple of months, so we didn't have to think about cooking. We literally got up in the morning, showered, and just watched her all day and all night.
Broke my concentration now.
What to do next was the big question. What to do with the baby.
You bring home a baby and you're like, oh, you don't know what to do with it. Well, what do you mean you don't know? You don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to start like teaching it like physics. The baby doesn't need anything other than it needs to be fed and changed and held, you know?
Lynn and Charlie had to set up home together very fast.
I meet this girl and she is good looking, fun to be around, a laugh.
For Lynn, Charlie fitted the bill perfectly.
I felt ready to have a baby. My body clock was ticking. I felt it was important to find a life partner and reproduce.
Let's face it, you know it's going to be a good looking child, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
19 months later, Lynn had a good-looking baby called Harvey. She also had a lot of stitches.
It was really emotional though, wasn't it? I started crying.
She was drugged out of eyeballs.
Yeah.
She had every drug they would offer her.
Yeah.
She was like, give me.
I've got a low pain threshold, so yeah, pain relief was quite important to me.
And she spent the last months of pregnancy wondering whether it was the right thing.
I was panicking. I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? Is he going to measure up?
I suppose truly we didn't get to know each other properly. So we're still really getting to know each other. Whilst...
I don't know. I disagree. I think I knew you pretty well. I think I knew you inside out pretty quickly.
Having a baby was one way to start that process.
It was all very quick, wasn't it? It's all very roller coaster, but that's what we wanted at the time.
Lovely.
To start with, Lynn and Charlie had a really tough time feeding their hungry baby Harvey. Lynn couldn't get into the right position. Harvey wasn't able to latch on. He stayed hungry.
So I was there trying to prop him up with pillows and rolled up towels. Put him this way more. It just wasn't working. He's not happy, is he?
There was times where I was contemplating giving up because it was so hard.
It seemed to me quite an easy thing to do. Just in that position, put the child on, and there you go, job done.
Harvey was hungry. Lynn and Charlie tried feeding him with a cup so as not to confuse him, as feeding him with a bottle might.
This is no good, babe.
Why?
You can't keep doing this.
What?
Because it's very slow progress when you could have eaten that already.
A little baby, darling. I was getting quite stressed out about it because, you know, obviously Harvey was there crying his heart out, wanting milk, and I couldn't give it to him.
I don't think she's latching on. I don't think she's getting enough. She's going to have failure to thrive.
I wanted the experience of nursing.
Is this the same? Oh.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding.
I enjoyed every moment that you were breastfeeding. I thought it was great.
Okay.
Oh, definitely not erotic, no. I mean,
Far from it.
when you had to duck to get out of the way of a shot, it's not really a turn on, to be honest.
For Marilia, breastfeeding aroused unexpected feelings.
I get these really weird feelings when I nurse her. I get like really violent thoughts. It's really weird. anytime she'd latch on, I had this overwhelming sense of rage, which was really, it was like she latch on, and I just wanted to kill everyone. Anyone that was not like her, like anyone around us, I just wanted like pulverized. It was a really strange feeling, and it would come over me like, and I would just want to like the other day, David asked me if he could watch Match of the Day, and I was like, sure, I'm just gonna nurse her. As soon as she latched on, I was like, turn this crap off. Like, I just wanted, like, I could have killed him.
In the moment that Meridia would be saying something aggressive to me, I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I love you, and give her a rose. But when you, in a moment of difficulty, right, you still have choice, right? When something difficult's happened and you feel emotionally challenged, you still have choice at that moment as to how you're going to respond. Or I probably wouldn't have felt that way 5 or 10 years ago, but I feel like now I'm at a level of maturity or whatever that I can, you know, so in that moment, I choose to understand that this is not because she hates me.
I mean, thank God, like, guns are illegal in this country.
Raising a baby was not the bed of roses our couples had imagined. With baby highs came baby lows. For the first few weeks, our newborn parents dealt with issues they did not see coming, with themselves and with one another.
Our doubts about each other, that was the main thing. And it's something that before you're pregnant, you haven't got a clue that you're going to feel like that.
Sometimes I pick something up in a size 10, which is the size I used to be, and I say, well, that'll look really good. And then I realize that it doesn't go past my ankle.
Caroline and Paul live in Blackpool. They met when they were teenagers.
I was only 18 at the time. We were out clubbing and I seen her, she was wearing a pink hat and she looked stunning. I've got certain standards and I was like, she's definitely mine.
They have a long-distance marriage that's been going strong for 10 years. Paul was a paratrooper. He was either abroad or in barracks 300 miles away.
I've been in the army since I met her. So from day one, I've always been in the army and that's what I've always done. And she stuck by me the whole time. You need someone like that when you do a job that I do. So the weekends are special. So I'll come home on a Friday. I go back to work on a Sunday evening. So in that short space of time, make the most of it, don't we?
Yeah.
Daddy's off. Daddy's home.
Caroline and Paul had been making parenting work long distance since the birth of their baby, Lola. During the week, Kaz had to raise baby Lola on her own, and Paul, a weekend father, had to get with the programme.
It was just myself and Lola from like 2 weeks old. Obviously, that was it. Me and her Monday to Friday, pretty much. And it was very difficult. Single mothers, they deserve medals because I do not know how they do it 24/7 on their own.
Paul came home on Friday nights. In his absence, Kaz created a strict routine of eating and sleeping for Lola.
A routine is perfect. And if you deviate from the routine, that's it. It's like, woohoo, gone.
Yeah.
Are you going to get ready?
All right. I need to go.
You'll never get ready.
There's some work to tell him. Oh, tired.
Paul's job while Kaz was getting ready was to keep Lola awake. Instead, he let her fall asleep.
She's late. How long should we sleep for?
Since she went home.
Paul had deviated from the routine Kaz had spent the last few weeks putting in place.
Does she not want to go on a mat whilst I was up there?
Don't put her on a mat.
Said I was about cuddling her. Babe, I need help. I need you to help me out.
She'll fall asleep either way, whether I carry her, whether we put in a car.
No, I'm on about spending some time at home playing.
Whether we put in the
I don't
pram.
understand why you couldn't just put her on a mat and play with her whilst I was upstairs getting ready. I'd have rather took her up with me and taught her to swim myself and kept her going. I understand what the hardness is of people trying to keep her going.
I know what you mean, yeah.
It's just messed everything up now.
It's not messed everything up. No,
So we were going to have a nice walk. I thought she'd be awake for the whole time I was down here because I've been upstairs for half an hour.
When I was here, she woke up for about 3 minutes. That's
Okay.
it.
So why don't you put her on the mat and sit next to her and talk to her and play with her with a mini?
I just thought, gosh, Paul's probably going to leave me. He's just going to think I'm absolutely lost my mind, like I'm a control freak.
You love me, you know that, don't
Oh,
you?
you do, dear?
Yeah, you are.
You're just all about the fun. If we're going somewhere or something, he'll be like, right, we're ready to go. And I'd be like, okay, so have you got a flask with the hot water in it? No. Have you got an empty bottle? No. Have you got the powder of milk? No. I'm like, okay, so how do you expect to walk out the door when you haven't got all those things?
But you do need to chill out.
Yeah, no.
Our 5 couples made it through the first weeks in their new lives as mums and dads, while the rest of the world dreamed peacefully. They did not.
Yeah, you just have to get on with things. Feeling like crap.
I was going mad. I did not know what to do with myself. I was tired.
Just had to get on with it. There was nothing I could do.
Sometimes you don't know why they're crying. And they're crying and they're freaking out and they're in pain and you don't know why. And then it's hard.
I was fine. Yeah.
Manchester couple Amy and Stuart suffered greatly from sleepless nights.
Until you're deprived of sleep, I don't think you really understand how it feels. Waking up on the hour, every hour through the night.
It hits you. You just feel like you've been run over by a bus. There's no parent on this planet that is prepared for the lack of sleep that you have. I remember doubting myself, whether I was a good mum or not, because I couldn't settle her. But I remember just sitting there and crying to the point that I was sobbing and looking at Stuart going, what am I doing wrong? She hates me. She's got to hate me. That's the only reason that I can come up with. She hates me. And I get to the point where I'm like, I can't do it. I actually can't settle my own baby. I remember putting Eva down in a cot and standing there and shouting at her, just going, Eva, please just stop crying. Just stop crying, otherwise I'm just going to walk out the door. I'm just going to have to walk out the house. And I remember just talking to her and shouting at her. I'm walking out and Stuart just looking at me and I'm like, I'm just going to have to go. If she doesn't stop crying, I'm just going to have to leave.
What were your plans in that moment?
Probably just to go and sit on the front step and just sit outside the house and just sit as far away from the house as it took to not be able to hear her cry.
As our fledgling parents weathered the highs and lows of bringing up babies, there were some choices that were heartbreaking. Before having baby Darcy, Claire's best friend was her beloved dog, Alfie.
Alfie was my dog. He was my baby.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But there was a problem between Alfie the dog and baby Darcy.
And he was just really boisterous. Every time we sort of introduced them, he would just get so excited. And
And you were scared. You just got more and more worried.
Claire worried all day long, and Malcolm came home to her fears.
Take a step back.
Yeah, but it's all right for you.
No.
No, it is, Mel, because you go to work. I don't work. I have to be here. I have to cope with her. Feel sorry for him. I show him no attention the other day. I either kick him out in the garden or shout for him to be back in.
You show no attention because you're tired. And you know we're just going through a little bit of a phase and we'll crack on after.
Come here.
Claire decided to get rid of the dog. It was hard on everyone.
There you go. Good boy, stay there. Head down. Head down. It's a good boy.
They took him to Battersea Dogs Home. Claire patted Alfie for the last time.
Thank you. Oh. I just feel really sad because I'm going to miss him. And I loved him to bits. And I just feel guilty as well. And even just coming in from being out and him not running up to me, it's just quite sad.
Hey.
Sorry.
Another thing our couples wrestled with was weight.
I felt at times that I was like, oh my God, what happens if he doesn't fancy me anymore? I'm gonna have a wobbly belly.
I don't really feel good about myself anymore. Like, she's totally ruined my boobs and they're horrendous. And obviously I don't know, there's just little areas that I just feel are a bit wobbly and stuff. But I mean, I felt like that before, so I think I'll always feel like that.
All over my arms, all over my back, everywhere. I gained a layer of fat.
Since having baby Harvey, Lynn and Charlie had gained 8 stone in weight between them. Today they were going to gain some more.
Can I have a all butter flapjack, please? At the time when I was pregnant, I put on 6 stone, and I didn't actually see any. I didn't see that 6 stone.
I did.
She gets some salt and vinegar peanuts. She gets some donuts. Can we have some chocolate milk? Treats her.
What about him anyway?
Well, yeah, he's no oil paint. He was no oil painting himself. He put on about 2 stone, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or a stone. And you weren't even pregnant. So, you know, you're a fine one to talk, really, aren't you? But you put on weight, but I didn't, you know, your weight was at the bottom of my priority list.
After giving birth, Marilia struggled with baby weight and started to put on even more.
Yeah, I gained loads of weight. Loads of weight. Yeah, loads. I've gained a lot of weight, but I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I eat a lot.
When Marilia met David, they started eating at nice restaurants, often.
I'm just gonna try to make sure it's not poisonous. I was skinny my whole life. I gained weight after I met David. But I'll just go skinny again at some other point. It doesn't bother me to be fat.
I'm just starving. Every time I nurse her, I'm just like, oh my God. She like latches on and I start like fantasizing about food. Oh, I'm gonna have this and then I'm gonna make that. Then I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna, you know. I'm starving. I'm just starving.
Marilia decided to take some exercise after all. But losing weight was never going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of walking just for walking. Like where you're just walking for exercise, because I think it's a really crap form of exercise. I used to like be really, really thin and I had like an amazing body. I used to eat 2 burritos when I went to restaurants, like burrito bars. I used to eat 2. They were like babies, you know? And I used to just eat 2 of them. I never gained a gram and I never had cellulite, and then all of a sudden it just all caught up with me. And so I'm like lazy to work on it because I feel like I'm like entitled to have like an amazing body just from like being alive. Look at that. Already 2 kids, that kid's already doing it, going for a jog. I can't even take her on a walk.
For our couples, bringing up baby was a round-the-clock, 24/7 job. No time for mum and dad to do anything remotely coupley.
Our relationship probably changed because instead of it being me and Amy and looking after Amy, we were both more concerned about looking after Eva Louise. So we changed. I think we changed instantaneously, to be honest.
Romantic evenings and newborn babies didn't go together. Bedrooms were baby zones for quite some time.
The man always cares about when it comes to sex, and it's obviously, I think the man's like the rabbit in the relationship, aren't they?
His needs were really at the bottom of the pile. And that's how it was. It was my needs and Harvey, and then him next.
In a situation where you've just had a baby, it's a very emotional time. And it's not a very physical time because, you know, the woman's body is just been through a major trauma.
It's quite strange having sex in front of the baby.
Poor thing. He's a bloke, he'll be right.
I mean, that said, it didn't really stop us.
Sometimes she might just do something else, for example, just to tidy me over, if you know what I mean.
Lynn and Charlie had been sleeping in separate rooms for 3 months. To try and rekindle the glory of their former relationship, they are going on a date. To go drinking with Charlie, Lynn needed to express and freeze enough milk to feed Harvey while she's out, and to give the alcohol a chance to leave her soon-to-be-shocked system. He would be none the wiser about his mum's flight to the railway pub.
I used to love going out, having a good time. It was a load of really good fun. What am I like? I'm friendly, I'm outgoing, I'm bubbly. I like to party, I like friends, I like to have a laugh, I like to be happy.
Well, I just wanted to have a bit of fun with Lynn, to be honest. I mean, it's something I missed, and I was looking forward to it.
See you later. Cool, see you later.
Bye. All right.
Lynn and Charlie spent their first ever date in a railway pub 20 months ago. No better place to go looking for what they had lost.
And because she is a different person when she's drunk, she's more lively and she's just... No, she's just more...
Fun? What are you saying, I'm boring when I'm sober?
No, I wouldn't say fun. Just more open and more... She's just different. She's just a little bit crazy when she's drunk. Just like the old Lynn.
Yeah.
Less grown up.
Cheers, my first pint.
Cheers.
You know what that is. Drink it. Thank you very much.
Lynn was having a change of heart about being out.
I have to go home soon, give him big snuggles.
Your riveting conversation.
I was looking at the clock, and then it was time to go.
Get away from me.
I'm not as excited as I thought. It's nice to be out, but really, if it was my choice, I'd go home and watch the X Factor with Harvey.
It was the first time I'd been out and I just felt out of place. It didn't feel natural to be out drinking.
You were missing Harvey?
Yeah, I was missing Harvey a lot. It was really weird being without him.
Claire and Malcolm were also going out. Malcolm had booked a table to try and get Claire out of the house and away from beloved baby Darcy. Just for a little while.
Wow, I feel tall!
Claire's mum stepped in so that Malcolm would have a fighting chance of them having a romantic evening together.
Hark.
Sorted.
Oh, you look beautiful, darling.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really do.
Cheers. She's asleep.
It felt odd because one or either of us had the baby at any stage the previous 8 weeks, at any sort of time, or was looking after her at any time. And all of a sudden, we were leaving her behind and going out the door.
Why did we go on a date? I think it's important to have your time together, whether it's an hour or an evening, and even if it's just for a walk in the park or going out for a quick drink or dinner.
Dinner was something Malcolm and Claire knew how to do. Like most couples, they used to spend lots of quality time together eating. Both Claire and Malcolm wanted a taste of the good old days.
We can have a pre-dessert hug, post-meal pre-dessert hug.
But letting go was harder for Claire.
The first night was hard, the first day, because I just kept thinking about leaving Darcy and her being at home and me not being there. So I did find it hard to unwind and relax. I'm worried that my mum can't cope.
She's got our numbers, and I've purposely brought us to a pub where we get no signal. Okay, so I was really proud of the way that Claire took to the whole thing. She had the odd moment, and I mean the really odd moment when, you know, I sort of comforted her and said, "This is the way we, you know, this is how things are now, and this is what you got to do. This is what we have to do to move forward." But you're all right, yeah?
Yeah, fine. I don't know. It's odd.
It's odd, but we've got to get used to it.
As our couples blossomed over the months of their journey of parenthood, their relationships did too. Claire and Malcolm decided to christen baby Darcy and get married.
See?
Do we want more children?
Hold on.
I am 50-50.
Yeah.
Amy and Stuart got some sleep, and Amy threw a surprise party.
Stuart did originally want 6.
All boys though.
But your feelings on that one changed.
Yeah, definitely.
Charlie and Lynn started a whole new life in the country where they could get support from Lynn's parents with Harvey.
It's our creation.
Yeah.
We can mould him
Yeah.
In whose image?
in my image. God's image. No, my image.
Paul and Kaz found a way to juggle married life, baby Lola, and the distance between them.
I think you have to work really hard at still being a couple. You have to really find time for each other, don't you?
Yeah.
Make time to sit down and talk to each other.
David and Marilia started trying for another baby straight away.
Yeah, everyone thinks they're excellent parents, right? If people didn't think they were excellent parents, they would do what everyone else does, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that everyone thinks they're excellent. That's the first thing you find out when you're pregnant, is that everyone thinks they're an excellent parent and they're full of advice for you. So, of course, we also think we're excellent parents, and we have loads of advice for anyone who wants to hear it, you know?
And we also think, you know, the same we saw, you know, everyone thinks that their kid is like advanced and
Yeah,
clever
and
and
brilliant,
this and
and
that.
my
you
child's
know.
a genius.
So,
Every parent feels that way.
Yeah.